Level 1. The Dreamer. You are 14 years old. Your boots are held together by silver duct tape. The pitch is more dirt than grass. It hasn't rained in 3 weeks. You cough up dust every time you sprint. You don't care. You are faster than everyone else. You have a touch that cannot be taught. Your father works 2 jobs to keep the lights on. He tells you football is a lottery. He tells you to study. You don't study. You sleep with a deflated ball under your bed. You wake up at 5:00 a.m. to run hills before school. You know exactly what you want. You want the shirt, the national team shirt, the one that makes your entire fractured country stop fighting for 90 minutes. A scout from the capital comes to your village on a Sunday. He smokes cheap cigarettes on the sideline. He doesn't take notes. He just watches. You score 3 goals. You play like you are starving, because you are. After the game, he talks to your coach. Your coach calls you over. The scout doesn't smile. He hands you a piece of paper with an address. He tells you to be there on Monday morning. You don't have the money for the bus fare. Your mother sells a gold necklace she inherited from her grandmother to buy your ticket. You won't find this out until years later. You pack a single duffel bag. You get on the bus. You watch your town disappear in the rearview mirror. You think you have made it. You think the hard part is over. You have no idea what the machine is. You are just raw material. The National Federation needs raw material. They chew up thousands of kids exactly like you to find one that can survive the grinder. You arrive at the National Academy in the capital. The grass is artificial. The nets actually have mesh. There are 40 other kids here. They all look as hungry as you. Some of them are taller. Some of them are stronger. None of them are faster. You tell yourself that is enough. You get assigned a bunk in a room with 7 other boys. The room smells like sweat and cheap deodorant. Nobody talks. You realize immediately that these boys are not your teammates. They are your obstacles. Only 2 of you will survive the year. The food is boiled chicken and plain rice, every single meal. The coaches don't learn your name. They call you by your trial number. You are number 42. You run sprints until your lungs taste like copper. You do tactical drills until your brain shuts off. You see a kid cry in the showers on the 3rd night. He gets sent home the next morning. Weakness is a contagion here. They quarantine it by cutting you. You learn to hide everything. The blisters, the homesickness, the fear. You become a stone. You have entered the system. Level 2, the prospect. You are 17 years old. You survived the cull. Number 42 is gone. You have your name back. It is printed in cheap white vinyl on the back of a training kit that has been washed 100 times. You are officially a youth prospect for the National Federation. The bunk room is less crowded now. Only 3 of the original 8 are left. You don't talk to the other 2. You are all competing for the same senior contract. Friendship is a vulnerability. You eat, sleep, and breathe the tactical philosophy of a head coach who will be fired in 6 months. This is the level where you discover the politics. You realize that talent is only half the equation. The other half is leverage. A boy named Mateo gets the starting position over you. Mateo is slower than you. Mateo has a terrible first touch. But Mateo's father owns a logistics company that sponsors the academy's travel bus. You sit on the bench and watch Mateo lose the ball. You learn to keep your mouth shut. The game is not played on the grass. The game is played in the VIP boxes. You just have your feet. You must be undeniable. Your body starts to break. The training load is designed for grown men, applied to teenagers. You develop Osgood-Schlatter disease. Your knees swell up like grapefruits. Shin splints make every step feel like stepping on hot glass. You do not tell the physio. In this building, an injury is a death sentence. A replacement is always waiting in the hallway. You find a veteran player who sells tramadol out of his locker. You buy it with the meager stipend the academy pays you. You chew the pills dry before practice. The pain fades into a dull hum. You run on joints that are quietly deteriorating. Then, you get the call-up. The U19 national team. It's a regional qualifying tournament. You put on the national shirt for the first time. It is a cheap replica version, not the one the seniors wear, but the crest is the same. The fabric feels heavy. You stand for the anthem in a dilapidated stadium in a neighboring country. There are maybe 400 people in the stands. Your heart hammers against your ribs. You play 20 minutes as a substitute. You score a tap-in. You scream until your throat tears. After the game, the youth director calls you into a hotel room. There is a man sitting on the bed wearing a silk suit and a watch that costs more than your father has earned in a decade. The director tells you this man is your new agent. The agent slides a contract across the desk. The director doesn't say that refusing to sign means you will never wear the national shirt again. He doesn't have to. You understand the threat perfectly. You are 17. You have no lawyer. You dropped out of high school a year ago. You sign away 20% of your future to a man who doesn't even know your mother's name. You are no longer just a player. You are an asset in a portfolio. Level 3. The domestic professional. You are 21 years old. You signed a senior contract. It is with a mid-table club in your country's top division. The top division is a joke. It is a graveyard of broken dreams and unpaid wages. You haven't received a direct deposit in 4 months. You still live in a cramped apartment with 2 other domestic players. You eat cheap pasta and plain tomato sauce 6 nights a week. The glamorous life of a professional footballer is a myth sold to children. The stadiums are concrete bowls crumbling under the weight of decades of neglect. The pitch is hardened, mud-painted green for television broadcasts that nobody watches. You play away games in remote provinces where the fans throw D-cell batteries, coins, and bags of urine at you when you walk over to take a corner kick. You learn to keep your head moving. A battery to the temple can end a career. You dodge the projectiles and whip the ball into the box. The team doctor is a local general practitioner who moonlights for the club to pay off his own debts. His solution to a grade 2 hamstring tear is a bag of melting ice and a cortisone injection that feels like liquid fire. You take the needle. You always take the needle. If you miss 3 games, the club president will use it as an excuse to terminate your contract for breach of fitness. The pain becomes your shadow. Then, you realize the league is rigged. You sit in the locker room before a match against the league leaders. The captain walks in. He locks the door. He doesn't say the exact words. He talks about managing the tempo and not doing anything stupid in the second half. You look around. The older players stare at the floor. You understand immediately. The referee has been bought. The center backs have been bought. You run around for 90 minutes performing a tragic play that was scripted yesterday. You lose 3-0. You feel physically sick in the showers. That sickness never fully goes away. But you have a singular focus. The national team. The Federation just hired a new manager, a washed-up European coach who failed in 3 different countries before taking this job for a massive, Federation bankrupting payday. He doesn't watch the domestic league. He sends his assistants. You know exactly which seats they occupy in the VIP section. You play every game for those 2 sets of eyes. You tackle harder. You sprint faster. You completely ignore the stabbing pain in your groin. Your agent calls you on a Tuesday night. He tells you to pack a bag. The national team has a friendly against a 4th-tier European nation. 4 regular starters pulled out with phantom injuries because they don't want to fly 14 hours for a meaningless game. The Federation needs bodies to fulfill a television contract. You are a body. You report to the senior training camp, the real camp. The veterans are there, the guys who play in 2nd Division European leagues. They arrive in designer tracksuits, driving imported cars. They look at you like you are a training cone. You are just a domestic player, a filler. You are terrified, but you are exactly where you need to be. Level 4, the export. You played 60 minutes in that meaningless friendly. You didn't score, but you didn't look terrified. That was enough. Your agent took the footage. He cut a highlight reel that bent the truth, making you look like the next great generational talent. He shopped it across the Atlantic. You sign a 3-year deal with a 2nd Division club in Eastern Europe. You are an export now. The transfer fee makes front-page headlines back home. The reality makes you want to quit. The winter lasts 5 months. The sun sets at 3:00 p.m. You live in a gray concrete apartment block that smells like boiled cabbage and stale smoke. You don't speak a word of the language. Your club manager never wanted you. The owner bought you as a speculative asset. The manager punishes you for it. He makes you run laps in the snow while the first team does tactical drills. You spend your nights streaming your old domestic league on a laggy laptop just to hear a familiar voice. The isolation is a physical weight pressing on your chest. But back home, your status has completely changed. You are a European professional. The National Federation treats you differently. World Cup qualifiers begin. You are flown back for the international break. You don't get the cheap replica tracksuits anymore. You sit at the veteran table in the dining hall. The domestic players look at you the way you used to look at the older guys. You don't tell them that your European club hasn't paid your image rights in 6 months. You don't tell them you cry in the shower. You play the part. You pretend you are rich. You send half your paycheck to your family, who suddenly have cousins you haven't seen in a decade asking for business loans. The qualifying campaign is a brutal war of attrition. You play away games in hostile neighboring countries where military police surround the pitch with riot shields. The away dressing room has no hot water. The air conditioning is broken on purpose. The heat is 105 degrees. The grass is left ankle deep to slow down your counterattacks. Your body is failing. The pain in your groin is chronic. The cartilage in your left knee is practically dust. You cannot train on Wednesdays, but you must play on Saturdays. The national team doctor introduces you to Toradol. It is a miracle and a curse. The needle goes directly into the joint capsule. You bite down on a rolled-up towel. 20 minutes later, you feel absolutely invincible. You run like a machine for 90 minutes. You wake up the next morning unable to walk to the bathroom. You do this for 2 agonizing years. You drag your broken national team through the mud, the heat, and the politics. You score a 90th minute winner in the final qualifying match. The stadium erupts. People flood the pitch. The country shuts down for a 3-day national holiday. You are going to the World Cup. You feel like a god. You have no idea you just booked a ticket to your own public execution. Level 5. The National Hero. You are 24. The World Cup is 2 months away. Back home, your face is on billboards selling telecom plans and cheap beer. You don't see a dime of that money. The Federation owns your image rights for national campaigns. You signed that away when you were 17. You are famous, but your bank account does not reflect it. You report to the pre-tournament training camp. It is hosted at a luxury resort in a country with a questionable human rights record. The Federation took a massive bribe to hold the camp here. The pitches are immaculate. The hotel has gold fixtures in the bathrooms. It feels like a luxury prison. Security guards stand outside your door. You are not allowed to leave. The European coach is quietly panicking. He knows exactly what is coming. He looks at his roster and sees a squad of the walking wounded. Your captain has a torn meniscus he refuses to operate on. Your star striker hasn't played a full 90 minutes in 6 months because of a chronic back issue. You are held together by kinetic tape, anti-inflammatories, and daily cortisone injections. The global media arrives. They are allowed to film the open training sessions for exactly 15 minutes. You are instructed to smile. You juggle the ball. You laugh with your teammates for the cameras. You project unity and confidence. The cameras turn off. The laughter stops instantly. The silence in the dressing room is deafening. The tactical sessions are grim. You sit in a dark film room. The coach pulls up footage of your group stage opponents. You are drawn against a European powerhouse, a South American giant, and a highly disciplined Asian machine. You watch their wingers sprint. They are faster than you. They are stronger than you. They play for clubs whose starting 11s cost more than your nation's entire GDP. Fear spreads through your squad. It is a quiet, suffocating panic. The older players start finding excuses to sit out of training. Tightness in the calf. A knock on the ankle. They know that getting brutally exposed on the world stage destroys club careers. They want to be on the plane for the prestige, but they are terrified of stepping onto the pitch. You are different. You want to play. You still believe the fairy tale. You still think passion and national pride can overcome a billion-dollar talent gap. You are naive. The final 2-3-man squad is announced. You are on the list. Your mother calls you crying. The president of your country tweets your name. You pack your bags for the biggest stage on earth. You are walking into a slaughterhouse wearing a tailored suit. Level 6. The imposter. You step off the plane in the host nation. The heat hits you first, then the cameras. Flashbulbs blind you on the tarmac. You are escorted to a bus with tinted windows and police outriders. The streets are lined with fans waving flags you don't recognize. You feel important. You feel like you belong here. You don't. Match day 1. You are standing in the tunnel. The noise from the 80,000 seat stadium vibrates in your teeth. You look across the narrow walkway at the other team. They are the European powerhouse. They look bored. They are chatting with each other. adjusting their shin guards, stretching their calves. They are treating this like a light training session. You are hyperventilating. Your captain is staring straight ahead, pale and sweating. You walk out. The anthem plays. You cry. Then the referee blows the whistle. The illusion shatters in exactly 4 minutes. That is how long it takes them to score. A simple, ruthless sequence of one-touch passes that cuts through your defensive line like a scalpel through wet paper. You didn't even touch the ball. You were literally chasing shadows. The speed of the game is something television cannot capture. You thought you were fast in your domestic league. You thought you were explosive in Eastern Europe. Here, you are running in wet cement. Every time you receive the ball, 2 defenders are already on your throat. Your legendary first touch betrays you. You panic. You clear the ball aimlessly into the stands just to buy 3 seconds to breathe. By halftime, it is 3-0. You sit in the dressing room. Nobody speaks. The silence is heavy and toxic. The European coach doesn't yell. He doesn't throw water bottles. He just stares at the whiteboard, realizing his defensive masterclass was dismantled by guys playing in second gear. You go back out for the second half. You run until your lungs burn and your legs cramp. You try to tackle their star winger, but he shifts his weight and skips past you before you even plant your foot. You look like a child playing a man's game. Millions of people are watching you look like a child. The stadium crowd starts doing the wave. They aren't even watching the match anymore. They are having a party at your expense. The final whistle blows. Wu, Dal, Ling. You collapse on the pristine grass. You want the earth to open up and swallow you. You walk through the mixed zone after the game. The journalists from your country look at you with absolute disgust. The international journalists don't look at you at all. You are not a story to them. You are just a statistic. A +5 goal difference for the real contenders. Back at the hotel, you make the mistake of opening your phone. Your social media is a war zone. The same people who called you a national hero 3 weeks ago are telling you to never return home. They post pictures of your house. They call you a traitor, a fraud, a disgrace. You turn the phone off. You lie in the dark. You have 2 more games of this. Level 7, The Broken. Match day 2. You play the South American Giant. The tactical plan is simple: survive. You put 11 men behind the ball. You play a 5-4-1 formation that looks more like a 9-0-1. You are not trying to win. You are not even trying to compete. You are trying to avoid another historic humiliation. It doesn't work. They score in the 12th minute. A curling free kick that your goalkeeper doesn't even dive for. The floodgates open. The camaraderie is completely gone. Your center back screams at your defensive midfielder in the middle of the pitch. Your captain refuses to track back. The team is fracturing in real time on global television. You lose 4-0. 2 games, 9 goals conceded, 0 goals scored. The training sessions before the final match are toxic. Players are faking injuries to avoid starting. Nobody wants to be on the pitch for the final slaughter. The European coach has officially checked out. He is already texting his agent to secure a punditry job for the knockout stages. He stands on the touchline with his arms crossed, watching you run drills, saying absolutely nothing. You are the designated sacrificial lamb. You will start the final game against the Asian machine. You are playing on a torn meniscus and a sprained ankle. The team doctor gives you a double dose of Toradol. You don't feel your legs from the knees down. You walk onto the pitch for match day 3. The stadium is half empty. The traveling fans from your country have already flown home. The ones who stayed hold up banners demanding the Federation president resign. The instruction for this game is desperate: just score 1 goal. 1 goal, so the nation has something to celebrate. You abandon the defensive block. You push forward. You try to attack. It is exactly what the Asian machine wants. They are disciplined. They are patient. They let you overcommit, and then they counterattack with terrifying precision. You sprint back to defend, but your legs are dead. You watch their striker slot the ball past your keeper. They score 3 times in the second half. The final whistle blows. 3-0. 3 matches. 3 losses. 12 goals conceded. 0 goals scored. You are officially part of the worst team in the tournament. You are statistically one of the worst teams in the history of the World Cup. You stand in the center circle. You look around. The opposing players don't even ask to swap shirts with you. They just shake your hand out of obligation and walk away to celebrate with their fans. Pity is worse than anger. Pity means you do not belong. You walk down the tunnel. The silence in the dressing room is different this time. It is not the silence of shock. It is the silence of a funeral. You pack your boots into your bag. Your body throbs as the painkillers begin to wear off. The physical pain is blinding. The psychological pain is permanent. You are going home. Level 8. The scapegoat. You land at the capital airport at 300A. The Federation planned a covert arrival to avoid the public. The plan fails. There is a mob waiting outside the terminal. They are not waving flags. They are holding signs with your faces crossed out in red marker. You are escorted through a service exit by riot police. You board the team bus. Someone throws a brick. It shatters the window right next to your captain's head. Nobody flinches. You just sit in the dark, staring at the glittering cubes of safety glass on the floor. The European coach doesn't even get on the bus. He resigns via a press release from the airport VIP lounge. He blames the lack of grassroots development. He cashes a $2 million severance check and boards a flight back to his home country. He will never set foot in your nation again. You are left to face the fire. The media needs a face for the humiliation. They pick you. You were the poster boy in the telecom commercials. You were the one who promised effort. Now, they loop footage of you falling over your own feet against the Asian machine on the nightly news. Talk show hosts who have never kicked a ball analyze your body language and declare you unpatriotic. They say you care more about your European paycheck than the national crest. You fly back to your club in Eastern Europe to escape the noise. There is no escape. Your club manager calls you into his office on your first day back. He doesn't offer you a seat. He watched the tournament. He saw you get outpaced by wingers playing in third-tier leagues. He tells you that your transfer value just cratered. You are no longer an asset. You are a liability with high wages. You are benched. Not for rotation. Permanently. Without the adrenaline of the World Cup, your body finally shuts down. The Toradol masks wear off. The damage is unhidden. Your knee locks up completely during a light jogging session. The cartilage is gone. It is bone grinding on bone. You need reconstructive surgery. The club refuses to pay for it. They claim you exacerbated the injury on unauthorized international duty. You call the National Federation. They stop answering your calls. They claim it is a pre-existing club issue. You are caught in a bureaucratic dead zone between two entities that no longer have any use for you. You are 25 years old. You pay for the surgery out of your own pocket. You wake up from the anesthesia in a sterile hospital room in a foreign country where you do not speak the language. No one from the club visits you. No one from the national team sends a text. Your agent's assistant emails you a generic get-well card. You look at the ceiling. You realize how quickly a hero becomes a ghost. Level 9, the exile. You spend a year rehabbing your knee. Alone. You train in public parks. You run on grass that isn't cut, avoiding shattered glass. You wait for the phone to ring. It doesn't. Your agent drops you. He sends a 2-line email. He says the market is tough right now. The market isn't tough. You are toxic. You carry the stench of historic failure. You are 27. You finally find a new representative, a bottom feeder who makes his money moving desperate players to obscure leagues. He finds you a trial in the second division of a country you have to look up on a map. You fly economy. You pass the medical because the club doctor doesn't look too closely at the MRI. You sign a 1-year deal for a fraction of your old salary. You are in exile. You play in empty stadiums. The grass is worse than the pitches you grew up on. The paychecks arrive late. Sometimes they don't arrive at all. You live out of a single suitcase in furnished apartments with cheap laminate floors. Your teammates don't speak your language. They know who you are, though. They watch the tournament. Sometimes, when you misplace a pass in training, you hear them laugh. You pretend you don't understand the joke. You understand perfectly. Every 4 years, the World Cup rolls around. You cannot watch it. You turn off the television. You log off the internet, but you cannot escape it. A global sports network inevitably runs a segment on the worst teams in history. They show the footage. There you are. 24 years old, running in wet cement, chasing shadows. The clip of you clearing the ball aimlessly into the stands goes viral again. Your humiliation is immortalized in high definition. It is a meme. You are a punchline for teenagers who weren't even born when you made your debut. You play until you are 32. You play because you do not know how to do anything else. You have no college degree, you have no trade, your body is a map of surgical scars, your left knee cannot fully bend. Your right ankle clicks when you walk. You take heavy anti-inflammatories just to get down the stairs in the morning. You are poisoning your liver to prolong a career that died 8 years ago. One Tuesday, in a rainy industrial town thousands of miles from home, you pull a calf muscle during a warm-up. It is a minor injury. 2 weeks, maybe 3. But you sit on the wet grass, and the cold seeps into your bones, and you realize you have absolutely nothing left. The tank is completely empty. The fire is dead. You walk into the manager's office after training. You terminate your own contract. You retire. There is no press conference. There is no tribute video from the National Federation. There are no standing ovations. You just pack your suitcase one last time. You stop running. Level 10, the ghost. You are 42 years old. You moved back to your home country, but not the capital. You live in a quiet coastal town where people recognize your face but have the grace not to mention the tournament. You walk with a permanent limp. Your right knee cannot fully extend. The weather dictates how much pain you wake up in. You run a small sporting goods store. You sell boots and shin guards to local kids. You do not hang any memorabilia on the walls. There are no framed jerseys. There are no photographs of you in the national colors. That version of you is dead. You watch the current national team on a small television behind the counter. They are younger, faster, stronger. They are playing in a new qualifying campaign, fueled by the same desperate hope that once fueled you. You know the truth now. You know about the agents in silk suits. You know about the Federation executives trading favors in luxury hotels. You know about the locker room politics, the cortisone needles, and the quiet, terrifying moments in the tunnel before the slaughter. You know that the crest on their chests is heavy enough to crush a man's soul. People ask you about it sometimes. Customers who remember the hype but selectively forget the humiliation. They ask what it was like to play at the highest level. You smile a polite, hollow smile. You tell them it was an honor. You tell them it was a dream come true. You lie. You lie because the truth is too exhausting to explain. The truth is that the machine extracts your youth, your health, and your spirit, and gives you a few fleeting moments of adrenaline in exchange. And when the adrenaline runs out, you are left alone in the wreckage. You close the shop early on a Tuesday. You walk past a dirt pitch on your way home. It hasn't rained in weeks. A cloud of dust kicks up into the humid evening air. There is a 14-year-old boy sprinting down the wing. His boots are held together by silver duct tape. He is faster than everyone else. He has a touch that cannot be taught. He plays like he is starving. He thinks he is playing a game. He has no idea what the machine actually is. He doesn't know what it will demand, how it will break his body, or how ruthlessly it will discard him when he is no longer useful. He will figure it out. They always do. The cycle continues.